Howdy folks, we're here to talk about the floor systems for the Shackleton tent today. So here we have an 11-foot Shackleton with a bathtub floor on it. And then here on top we have the 11-foot removable floor system. So in the past year we've completely re-engineered this tent so that the two floor systems are completely interchangeable. That's really amazing because it makes the tent super versatile. You can buy a new floor system for your existing tent without having to replace the tent. Whichever floor system you buy is going to come in one of our flat bags, just like your tent comes in, so that whichever floor system is not in use can be stored in the flat bag and put away. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the tent with the floor that's on it, and that's actually the easiest way to swap floors anyway. So we're going to set up the tent with the bathtub floor, and then I'll show you how to switch the floors, and I'll explain both floor options along the way. Total pitch time, just under 10 minutes. So now we've got the Shackleton tent pitched with the bathtub floor on it. We're going to take a closer look at the floor system from inside the tent in a moment, but we do get a lot of questions regarding whether or not the tent can be used as a removable floor since the bathtub itself is removable. Yes, while that's true, you can remove the bathtub floor. The spike points in this system are actually in the corners of the floor. So when we remove this floor, which we're going to do in a little bit, you'll see that the tent just kind of floats around in the wind. It's not very effective. You have to have one of these two floor systems attached to the tent in order to use it. All right, so here we have the 11-foot Shackleton with the bathtub floor on it. Now the bathtub floor is going to be a more waterproof, critter-proof option. You've got this 11-ounce domestic vinyl that comes up 6 inches on all 4 sides of the tent. That's not going to allow any water in, and it's not going to allow any furry friends in the middle of the night. So let's take a closer look down here at the seam. So we've come up with this continuous zipper system. This is going to consist of 4 sliders. 2 are on this side of the tent, and the other 2 are on the other side. You've got your attachment points at the door, which have Velcro flaps that go over, which we'll take a look at. But basically, these sliders are going to go all the way around to the entry points of the tent, and this floor is going to zip all the way off. The cool thing about this is that you can have an opening at any point along the perimeter of the tent, so you can run either an electrical cord or a propane line in if you're heating that way. The other cool thing is that you can open this whole sidewall up and easily sweep out the tent from any debris or things that have gotten inside. The other cool thing is that you could stack firewood outside here for surplus and easily reach out and bring it into the tent by just opening one section. At your center point of your front and back door, you're going to find this flap. Now this is where the zipper chain ends and you're able to unzip the floor completely. Now when you do that, the sliders are going to come all the way off of the chain, and you're going to want to put those in a safe place for when you put them back on with the other floor system. All right, so now we're going to switch floor systems. We're going to take the bathtub floor off and we're going to put the removable floor system on. The actual easiest way to do this is just how we're about to do it, with the tent pitched. So all we're going to do is slack off all the guy lines, unzip that floor system, slide it out from underneath the center pole, and install the other floor system. Okay, so canopy's just floating. This is what I was talking about before. You need one of the 2 floor systems attached to the tent in order to use it. As you can see, it's just kind of floating here. Looks beautiful, but now we're going to go ahead and install the removable floor system. Before I put this on the tent, we're just going to take a quick look inside the bag at the components so you know what I'm talking about. Inside the bag, you've got 2 components. You've got the removable floor, which consists of a 10-ounce vinyl-coated mesh panel that's got webbing loops on it. And then you've got the sod skirt, which is this 8-ounce polyester. Now, the sod skirt is what actually zips onto the perimeter of the tent. So if you're not using the floor panel, you can leave that aside and just go ahead and install the sod skirt. I like to keep things integrated together. Makes it really easy to install into the tent and kind of see what you're working with. But once you've used this system a little bit, you'll come up with your own way that works best for you. Now you've got the 11-foot Shackleton with the removable floor system attached. The sod skirt is zipped onto the perimeter of the tent, and the mesh floor is locked in place. Let me show you how that works. Okay, so here you've got the sod skirt itself zipped onto the bottom of the canvas tent shell, and the removable floor panel locked in place. This sod skirt is reinforced all the way around the perimeter in vinyl, and there are extra reinforcements in the corners. Each corner has a grommet with a webbing loop attached to it that can be spiked to the ground. I left this part open so that you can see it in a little more detail. Okay, so here is the same system that you have in all the corners, and you're able to lock the midpoints of the floor in place too. You just pass this webbing loop through the grommet, pull it tight, and spike it to the ground. If you're not using the floor, you can pull that out. You'd remove the whole floor panel, and then you take this webbing loop, pass it through the grommet, and spike it to the ground. Then you can go with no floor at all. Here you can see the tent with no floor panel at all. So all we've got here is the sod skirt zipped onto the tent. I have the four corners spiked to the ground. And now you can see the sod skirt, 12 inches. If you're not using the tent floor, especially deep snow, something like that, you'd want to flip that outside the tent, cover it in snow. This is a great option for muddy boots, winter camping, hunting, etc. It sheds a lot of weight out of the tent, and it just adds to the complete versatility of the Shackleton tent. Thanks so much for tuning in, and let us know if you have any questions. See you out there.